My name is Carson. Welcome back to Thrifty Garage, a channel where we do everyday repairs, how-tos, and reviews. And in today's video, we're gonna dig into my toolbox, take a look at my tools, tell you my experiences in different brands of tools, what I would do again differently, what I would do the same. I have a huge assortment from Craftsman, Harbor Freight, all the way up to Snap-on and Matco. I went to automotive school for 2 years, got my associate's degree doing that, so I have some automotive background. I never went into that field, into that trade, but I do all of my own repairs, and now I own a landscape business. We have several trucks and trailers, and so we do a lot of our own maintenance on those as well. So my tools have grown over the years, and so I'll kind of share my experiences with those tools. Okay, I just retired this Craftsman toolbox and upgraded to this toolbox. So I guess before we get into the tools, let's briefly talk about toolboxes. I started off with this Craftsman black set. This is the Quiet Glide set, and it was great. I loved it. It was everything I needed. I started with a little tiny 2 or 3 drawer toolbox, and so that was a huge upgrade. Had it for a number of years, and I filled it to the max. And then I purchased this 3 drawer in the middle. That 3 drawer was a great upgrade. My only regret with that is I went with the ball bearing drawers, which are really nice. If you're gonna buy a Craftsman box, get all ball bearings. The reason I say it's a regret is because these drawers operated flawlessly, and these drawers became quite a bit more difficult to operate. So this was my beginner toolbox. I outgrew that and I needed an upgrade. So we just transferred over to this new Husky box. Really happy with it so far. I think it's gonna really help us grow into it. I'm gonna talk today about what tools I have in here, what tools I need to expand to, and what I would or wouldn't have done again. Over here we got a pry bars. We've got some Williams pry bars. We've got some Snap-on pry bars. And we have just this Craftsman screwdriver here. So Craftsman tools, as far as a beginner set, I think it's definitely the way to go. I would start with a 100, 200, however many piece tool set that has a variety of sockets, screwdrivers, wrenches, all that stuff. That would be the best place to start. As far as pry bars go, I did try some Harbor Freight pry bars. I would never recommend doing that. I ended up having multiple Snap, the bigger ones. That's just not fun. It's kind of scary, honestly. So I haven't used these Williams very extensively. These Snap-on ones have always been excellent. I do need a little bit longer one. Williams has never let me down, but the build quality I'm not as impressed with. I think that you go to the typical Home Depot, Lowe's, you're going to find something similar quality. So nothing to brag about there, but I wouldn't say it's Harbor Freight either. Moving on, we got our drivers and our drill bits. I love these Makita drivers. I have the T25, I think it is, and I also have the Phillips #2. These DeWalt ones, do not buy them. The Milwaukee ones are fine. I like the Makitas, and the Milwaukee's about the same. Makita's a little bit more. I love these Milwaukee drill bits. I often buy these bigger sets of the Milwaukee. I think this is a great buy. You used to could get these with a 1/2-inch drill bit, but now they don't sell them with that anymore, so that's kind of sad, but it is what it is. One set of those red drill bits and some drivers, some good quality drivers, is definitely the way to go. Screwdrivers. I have some Snap-on screwdrivers. I have some Icon screwdrivers. I have, as far as, I started with some Craftsman screwdrivers. My dad always had these. I like these. They're not great, but they're a great beginner set. These Icons, I wouldn't say they're anything to brag about. The ends are a little bit soft and a little bit rounded over. The Snap-ons I absolutely love. Only reason I have some of these high-end tools is because I inherited them, and the only reason I have new versions of these tools is because they were so damaged that I was able to get them warranty replaced. So I'm fortunate enough to have some of these, and honestly I've been a little bit spoiled by having some Snap-on tools that I've actually started buying some Snap-on tools when they're a good deal. One of those is this magnetic thing right here. This was like 35-40 bucks on sale on Snap-on website. I don't know how they emailed me or how I saw that, but I thought that was a pretty good price for that. It's not everything I expected it to be. I thought I could hang it up on the box and it would keep everything really nice and organized, but these screwdrivers kind of flop around. Doesn't look as nice as what I thought it would, but you live, you learn. I would not buy this Snap-on organizer. I think the icon set is pretty good. It does come with a little plastic tray they all sit in, and so if that fits in your toolbox, that might be a good way to go. Actually, a really good buy, and they are not cheap, is these Klein tools. I love everything from Klein. Really quality tools, and this universal screwdriver actually might be a great starter set. Here's a little miniature version. I've actually started putting these in all the trucks and trailers because they're just a great set to have. Moving over, we've got this Tecton pick set. Seems like a pretty good set. I've started with the $5 or whatever it is Harbor Freight set, and they end up breaking on me, but they're cheap enough that you can just replace them. Here's the Pittsburgh. I'm not, again, these Harbor Freight ones, not super impressed with. If you don't have anything, I would definitely start with this, but when you start breaking them, probably upgrade to something you like. Would I buy the Tecton again? I would look at other brands, and if I couldn't find anything I liked better, I would definitely stick with it. It's not horrible. It's not everything I desire in a pick set. The handles kind of feel, they're kind of hard. I don't even know what material they are. Like these snap-ons are like a hard plastic, but there's something that feels kind of good in the hands about it. It doesn't feel fake, but these like feel, I don't know, they just feel hollow or fake or something. Anyways, moving along, we've got our chisels and punches. This is a good set to have. I've got an assortment, big to small, different chisels here, different center punches and all that. These are an assortment of Snap-on and you know, the Home Depot brand and just different stuff. I don't think those really matter so much as long as you have them. Those are a good set to have. Pliers. Here's kind of my beginner set that I started with. This is pretty much a perfect set. I'm missing my little needle nose pliers. Really, this is a pretty big assortment of adjustable wrenches. You probably only need 3 of these. Maybe this size, like a 6-inch, and like an 8-inch and a 10 or 12-inch, and then a needle nose, some dikes and side cutters, adjustable pliers. These are not as crucial, but tin snips are nice to have. We do landscaping, so these Knipex adjustable wrenches, I prefer these over channel locks. I've got a video on the channel talking about that. Klein tools, like I said, for automotive wiring, buy you a set of these. These are the cat's meow, as well as these, and I think this is just a cheap set off Amazon, but this is the tool to have. So these two right here are wiring, as well as really good connectors, high quality connectors with the shrink wrap built in is the way to go. These are okay. These are any size. So you put the wire in here, and they're wire strippers. You stick it in, and it goes. They're nice. I don't use them as much as what I probably could. Let's look at the So while we're talking about pliers, I went with this set of pliers for a long time, and the only thing I used this for was this crimper right here, and it got the job done. But this is a really awkward, and this is a Klein Tools. I'm not a fan of this one. I would get rid of this, and I would replace it with this. So these two, like I said, are a perfect set. Moving on, we've got this Proto snap ring plier. These are really high quality, really nice. Blue Point, all the high-end stuff I really don't have complaints about. I inherited these, and these work perfect when I need them. I did buy these Pittsburgh from Harbor Freight, and these are an okay starter set. As soon as you can upgrade, I would definitely upgrade to something nicer. They're really cheap in filling. We'll jump down here and continue with the pliers. I would definitely recommend a pair of vice grips. These are a vice grip brand, or excuse me, these are Irwin brand. We've also got some of these William ones. They're all pretty much the same. I definitely wouldn't cheap out, but there are actually some pretty cheap ones that work well enough. These channel locks, the only thing I don't like about these is when these are in the closed position, they're kind of pointing inward, which makes it hard to get off a snap ring. But these are pretty cool in the sense that you can just push this lever over and it changes what direction. So now they're pulling out, switch this over, and now they're pulling in. So those are pretty cool, but those are kind of specialty. Williams. I started buying these Williams when I found out that they actually have a nearly identical screwdriver set to these, and I really like these screwdrivers. And so Williams has a nearly identical set, and so I'm like, okay, maybe they'll have good quality pliers. And some of their stuff is decent. I don't mind these pliers. I've got these snap ring pliers that do pretty good. The needle nose pliers, some side cutters. These are a little bit stiff, which I don't really like. But one thing, when you're buying stuff online, you have to be careful with, is I also bought these guys thinking they were these guys. So quite a size difference. I mean, these are what I would put in my wife's set of crafting stuff. That they are very small. Depending on what automotive stuff you're doing, maybe you need them, but those both were kind of a dud. Again, Knipex brand, love it. This is kind of a specialty adjustable wrench. This oil filter wrench has helped me out on certain stuff, so that's a good option. As well as we've got, used to have a Toyota 4Runner, and I think this went to the 4Runner, and I've also got this adjustable one. I think these are the best oil filters for the money. They work on so many different applications. I also have a set, so this is just a 5-piece oil filter wrench set. These are super cheap. I got these for the Mini X because I had so many issues taking that filter off, so I just wanted an assortment, so I had every size. But I would definitely start with this and maybe move into some of the band style from there. I think that, yeah, these are okay. Just commercial electric. They're okay, not great. Another Williams. Got a little Harbor Freight seal puller. They work okay. As well as this Icon snap ring plier set. These are not great. I would put these a little bit higher quality than these, but not much better. They just don't feel great, but I think for the money, you got a lot of variety here. So some of the Icon stuff I really like, and some of it I don't. 1/4-inch set. I started with a Craftsman little suitcase style set. Really nice stuff, honestly. It's got the numbers labeled on here. Came with metric and standard. That set has kind of continued to ride with me for a long time. I've never really upgraded these. I did upgrade. I did buy a 3 set, so it had a 1/4-inch 3/8 and 1/2-inch gear wrench 84 tooth. And I'll talk more about that in the 3/8, but I really like these 84 tooth gear wrench. I got this T-handle from Motion Pro. That's a nice little addition for the motorcycle stuff. I used to have a set of Craftsman wrenches. I inherited these Matco ones, and I did purchase these Matco adjustable wrenches. These are actually made by Gear Wrench, and I had some warranty issues on these and ended up buying some Gear Wrench to kind of match. They don't have the adjustable direction, so these ones I can change what direction they go. These ones are just a fixed. But I typically do more metric stuff, so having the ratcheting wrench in that works perfect. At one point in time I did buy, I think I bought a 19mm ratchet wrench like this because I did a lot of transmissions on Toyotas, and that really helped get back behind there, behind the engine along the firewall. So standard, metric, and ratcheting wrenches. Pretty basic set from like 8-9mm up to like 19. I'd love to have a few more on the bottom and top end, but really this has been a pretty thorough set for me. You can see here, actually, here's some of that Craftsman 10mm 3/8 drive sockets. So we'll continue the 84 tooth ratchet story. So here we've got an 84 tooth ratchet, which I actually upgraded to Matco. Has Matco internals on it. So I've got a separate video on the channel talking about the upgrade to this. So when I warrantied these broken ratcheting wrenches, they gave me a credit because they no longer made them, and so I took that credit and applied it to a rebuild kit for these and bought the rebuild kit for this, and I think something else, I can't remember now though. But I've got the gear wrench 84 tooth that's upgraded to, I believe it's an 88 tooth. I also have a 32 tooth Matco, which is really nice. I have a longer with flex head 32 tooth ratchet. I really like this as well. And then I got this icon with the composite handle. I always wanted to try these. I'm not a fan. I wouldn't buy any more again. It's just, I think it's personal preference, so that's really kind of up to you what you like. I definitely prefer these handles. Like I said, I would buy these gear wrench all day long. I think I got that whole set for like 80 or 90 bucks. I got the 1/4 inch, 3/8, and 1/2 inch, all pretty inexpensively. Some icon metric. On the right side here we got all metric. These were part of my 10mm set, so you can see all these different brands. We took, I think it was 20 brands of sockets, and we did a durability test on them and just tested them out, see who survived. And so we have all these different brands. Some of those brands we ended up buying in a full set, so that we bought a full set of icons. So we've got our 10mm there that was in the challenge. We've got a set, I think these are mostly Mac, but I think there's a few Snap-on mixed into here. So these are long sockets. We got short sockets. Again, pretty much name brand. Here we've got a Snap-on that was in our durability test. We've got, I think these are Husky Torx, or Husky Allens and Torx. And I've been pretty impressed with these Husky brand tools. Actually, we've got, these are Cobalt. These Allens are Cobalt. And these Security Torx are Huskies. Both have been great. I definitely need to replace these with normal Torx. I've got a few Snap-on. I think these are Torx right here. But they're a little bit too big, so I need to get some smaller Torx that are not Security. These Security ones end up breaking when you use them. It's just not strong enough. Here we've got Pittsburgh Pro. Again, we used the 10mm for that challenge. We're missing a few on there, or I think they just skipped. So I think they skipped the 18 and they skipped the 20 and 21, which I use 21 a lot, so that's kind of disappointing, but I'm not positive on that. Honestly, sockets, I would not have a problem buying Pittsburgh Pro sockets, buying the icon sockets. They all seem pretty decent. The icon wrench I really like. I think I just need to get the non-composite handle. Over to our standard stuff, we've kind of got an assortment of different brands here. The kind of just leftovers. We've got our remains of our Craftsman set here. We've got a Great Neck, which I think is a AutoZone brand. No issues there. Great Neck again here. So I don't even have that many standard 3/8 sockets. Great Neck tap and die set. I have used this extensively. It's never really let me down. It's actually had most of the sizes that I need, so that's actually been a great set. I've got this Craftsman torque wrench. I used this when I rebuilt my engine on my CRF 450 and needed to have, I forget what style this is, where it has the rod, the torque wrench. It's an inch torque wrench. I do need to upgrade and buy some more extensions, so if you have any recommendations there, let me know. I've never really used this Impact, but it's kind of an old tool. It's not used anymore. And then we've got this Impact set from Harbor Freight. I am missing the 15 and possibly the 18. Been a decent set. Haven't had any complaints with that either. Okay, hammers and mallets. I've got this hammer, Stanley Graphite. I love this ball peen hammer. I have used that so much. I haven't really found a good dead blow hammer. This one's pretty destroyed. These end up getting used in the landscaping business and probably get used improperly. So they have not lasted very long. I've had several different dead blows, so any recommendations there too, I'd appreciate that. Typically in here I also have some Allen, a full Allen set. I actually got I think the Williams brand, and I really like that set that I have in here. Also this Husky Torx, which I don't really use, but it's in here. More hammers. We've got more household type hammers. I really like this East Wing. I've had this old fiberglass one. Probably should just toss it now, but a little bit of attachment to that because that's one of the hammers I've had for probably over 15-20 years now. I don't know where I got this East Wing hammer, but this one means business. When I need 3/8 business work done, this is the hammer. And I think I found that, I used to do bank foreclosures. I think I found that in a house we were cleaning out for the bank so that they could repossess and sell it. So I don't think I got that from inherited. Cat's paw works great. These also work great. Use that for our home repairs all the time. Over to the 1/2-inch sockets. We've got this Icon torque wrench. It's supposed to mimic a snap-on. Haven't had any issues with that. Got this Craftsman, which I don't think is working anymore. But that one was a gift, so I'm having a hard time getting rid of that one. I've got this old power-built breaker bar, won't let me down. We've got this new warranted Mac breaker bar, which is really heavy duty and really nice. Got an Icon set. Again, I'm really happy with the Icon sockets. I've got a Samley socket set. These were in high school. Long time ago now, I bought those, and I wish I would have bought, I think they were only like 20 bucks for the whole set, and I just couldn't spend the 20 bucks to buy a standard set of the same thing, but I totally should have. I've had that for a long time, and I think now even like Harbor Freight, they're like 40, 50 bucks for a set like that, so it's just crazy. I inherited these Snap-on 3/8 or Snap-on 1/2-inch impact set, so that does fill my needs there. And those have been, actually, one thing I really don't like about these, and I just oiled them, these things are the worst. I have never maintained these whatsoever. And we live in the Midwest now, and so when I was a kid, obviously we didn't have that issue, but these Snap-on ones, they flash rust so bad. So I've been trying to really oil them, and I probably don't use them as much as I would in a mechanic shop, but they're not getting all greasy like they normally would, but those things flash rust crazy bad. So part of our Matco set here that was passed down to me, 32 tooth, got that guy. We've got this gear wrench set. Again, we need a few more extensions. This guy is kind of, I actually got this to try and pull a what's it called, a pilot bearing out. Didn't really work out. I was hoping that ball would pop out and it would be enough pressure to help pull a socket out or whatever I was trying to do, but it didn't work out. I need to get more extensions, and then I've kind of just got a miscellaneous set of sockets here, different sizes for axle nuts and those type of thing. Okay, next up we've got our angle grinder stuff. We've got our grinding discs. We've got our cutoff discs. These things work pretty good. We've got the abrasive discs, which depending on your application do or don't work well, so it really depends on what you're doing. These sander discs work really well, but they wear out real quickly. Use this bit for sanding on concrete. That works really well. Cutting on concrete right here. We use those for pavers and different projects. I really like these little rotary bits too, sanding stuff that is small and circular. And I need to get more of these wire wheels as well. Got this Hitachi angle grinder. I think I picked it up for a pretty good price. They're a lot more expensive now. And I also have a Makita one as well that's cordless. Over the years, I've upgraded air tools. I started with a lot of cheap Harbor Freight stuff, and it's just been a lot of issues, a lot of air leaks, a lot of problems. And so over time, I've eventually upgraded. So this is a Merlin, really nice, has a gauge built in. That works really well. Got this Jayco off-road, or Jacko, goes up to 100 psi. That's really nice. Got these bigger sets that go up to like 180, 200 pounds for landscape trailers. So I've got those for those trucks. Got this little Victor. This one's pretty nice. I would like to upgrade this little guy, a little blow-off gun. Here's one of my, a couple old cheap pressure gauges. Just miscellaneous fittings here. We've got a performance tool. I think that's that's probably O'Reilly brand, but this performance tool has worked totally fine for me, and I've used that a number of times. Same thing with this rivet gun. Nothing fancy there. Don't use it enough to really need anything better. It works great. This Husky air hammer junk. If you watched my video with a swell conditioner, tried using that and it didn't hardly do anything. It was probably not the right tool, probably not enough bang for what I needed. Ended up going a different route, getting that thing taken apart, but that did not help me, and when I really needed it the most. This Ingersoll Rand, this thing is pretty worn out. Again, inherited that, can't get rid of it. Used it a few times, but I've since then upgraded. A few remaining things up here on the top. This little, I think I got this from Harbor Freight, maybe on Amazon. This Ames infrared thermometer, awesome. These 3M work tunes, really love these when I'm out working in the business. We got this Permatex thread locker. I put that on just about everything. We've got a few magnetic pickup tools, a few flashlights. I always skimp out on flashlights, and therefore I don't use them. I think if I would spend more money on flashlights, I'd probably use them more, and I'd be a lot happier in my experiences there. And these Milwaukee razors, they're a pretty good deal. Buy like a 50 or 100 pack. Can never have enough razors. This corner of the garage is a little bit messy, but I have a video putting up this shelf. I have a video putting up this power drill setup. I've since then added this Milwaukee setup. This is just for my, actually no, it's for both. So I've got a heated jacket, Milwaukee, and I also have the bigger batteries that go there. I think that's just for my grease gun, that's Milwaukee, but I'd like to start adding more Milwaukee tools. But we can charge right on here. We can obviously charge Makita right here. Works great. I've got a Makita corded hammer drill. Use that quite a bit. Drilling foundations for sprinkler wiring. And then I've got this multi-tool. I thought these were so gimmicky. I cannot believe how long I went without that. For home remodels, that's great. This, the impact that goes with this set, I've got a drill, an impact set. I've got a review video on these as well. I bought those 7 to 10 years ago. Those things just keep going. These have been used and abused, and no issues with them. Recently, when the air gun didn't work, I finally upgraded to one of this guy. This thing is not cheap, and there's one bigger version than this, and I'll probably eventually get it, but this thing has a pretty good punch. So this is a good tool to have. This is their cheap Sawzall. Does the job. It's this little bit smaller version. They have a bigger version, and then this angle grinder. This thing's a workhorse too. At first when I got this, I was using this pretty sparingly, and then I've started putting it in heavier duty tasks, so it's put up the work. And never did I think I'd get a battery powered blower when I got my new truck, and it was too nice to have all the two-stroke gas leaking in my bed, or definitely couldn't put it in the cab. I ended up picking up this, and this thing has been awesome. It does eat the battery real quick. If I blow off the whole driveway in the garage, it'll go through a whole battery. But that thing moves pretty good air, and it's so handy to just leave in the truck and have with me at all times. Clean out the garage or whatever. In fact, I just cleaned out this toolbox. You know, this will be perfect to go in here and just kind of blow this out. Good as new. So this Craftsman toolbox, we're going to put this into use for hardware storage. So that will be, I can't get rid of this. I've got some sentimental value here. This was a gift as well. So part of the reason I've kind of delayed upgrading this is because I really just didn't want to get rid of this guy. So now that I found a use for this, I can keep growing my tool collection, keep staying organized and all that stuff. Well, I hope that was some useful information for you, talking about my tools, my experiences with them. I love watching tool review videos. I love watching toolbox videos, organization, all that stuff. So hopefully my setup, my experience, my tools can give you some advice wherever you're at, whether you're starting out or whether you're in the middle of where I'm at, or even if you're beyond where I'm at. If you're beyond where I'm at, let me know what I'm doing wrong, because I'm always looking for ways to improve. So toolbox is a huge improvement. I've got several videos in this series kind of talking about the toolbox and the process from buying it till now. But yeah, we'll kind of settle in. I'll probably end up changing some things. I might end up adding some drawer liners as well, but time will tell. Okay, I picked up this Harbor Freight 2-piece wrench organizer set. This black and red. That works perfect. Much better than these little cheap ones. These cheap ones were nice because I could modify them. I'm going to keep them for now until I figure everything out. I do have a couple of, actually I think this goes in one of our vehicle sets, this channel lock. I did a review on that vehicle set. it looks like I'm missing this Matco 9/16, so I might go on eBay and try and order that. I've got an extra gear wrench 3/16. Not sure where that came from, honestly. And then I've got this Matco. I'd love to get an 8 for that, and I'd love to get like a 21 or a couple up there a little higher. And then I've got my full Matco ratcheting wrench set, which I moved onto these old trays. They were not on the trays before. And as I was filming, I'm not sure if you heard that, this guy just fell off. These magnets are not the best. They got sticky on them. It might be time to just throw that one away. These work okay. These were fine to begin with, and gravity kind of holds them on the table. Take off your liner, and then they sit right on the bottom. But that'll work for now. Keep things organized. Make sure we're not missing tools. I really am happy with that purchase. We've got a couple other trays we'll go through and add those as well. Picked up this US General adjustable plier rack. I definitely prefer this version over the wire rack. Seems to just work better. That wire rack things kind of just fell in there and didn't really stay straight, so that's going to work better. I still prefer probably doing putting it in foam. I would love to do foam, so maybe I'll do foam for my main drawer. You can just see things a lot easier. You look into here and it's hard to tell what's needle nose, what's cutters, and those type of things. So probably extra pliers will go in here, and then we'll probably have like a dedicated drawer, maybe a half a drawer that's dedicated to our main pliers. So that's room for improvement. Maybe I'll order a drawer liner for this that I can cut out and have it fit. That has opened up a ton of room in this drawer. Also picked up this Icon Professional Impact Set 3/8" driver extension. Those have a little carrying case. I'll keep them in there for now. Also got the metric and SEA version of these socket trays. This was the main reason I picked up this box, as I want to be able to put them all in here. So I've got my 3/8, my quarter. This makes my sets look really small and really depleted, but that's what I've got. Over here on the metric, I've got 3/8 and quarter. I'm not a big fan of these 1/2". I think the 1/2" is just too bulky, honestly. I mean, look how far that's spread out. I think I'm actually going to put these back on this rail, and that's going to keep this box nice and clean. I would love to have this all fit in one thing, but it wasn't really working out, and I just don't have enough. I think the biggest problem is it's so much wider, and I just don't fill the top end and the bottom end, and so it's kind of some wasted space. The other problem is these do not fit in the drawers sideways, so it has to be left to right. It just didn't work out for the tools that I have. Maybe in other applications it works. So for now I'm just going to take these and store them away. I did take all my extra sockets. I'm going to get rid of all my extra and keep it down here, all my extra rails, in case I need them in the future. But the main reason for that is we've got employees that use this toolbox and trying to keep everything organized. So I'm going to try to keep everything, no extras on here, so we know exactly what's here. And so if one's missing, it's real easy to tell. I want to get some caps for these, maybe not for all of them, but maybe some little vacuum caps, and put on like the 11, put on the 5.5, and so we know, hey, we're missing between here and here. It's a thought I have. We'll see if that works out. One thing I will say is these Olsa tools, these rails are awesome. They're easy to modify, they're easy to pull off these ends, add more, take off some. So we've got a variety of those. We've got all our extras in down here. I also really like this magnetic one. I think this might have been Harbor Freight, but I can't remember. But that works perfect. Stick it up here, up against here. That magnet's strong enough, it'll go through the liner. So really happy about that. While we're talking about what I added, I also picked up this Pittsburgh 9-piece wobble socket extension. So we've got these 3 extensions for a quarter, we've got these 3 extensions for 3/8, and we've got these 3 for 1/2". One con to these cheaper tools is they come with these little dumb tabs, and I broke off 2 of those. One of those was easy to pull off, the other one got stuck in the end there. Kind of a lot of work to pull out with a pick, but this drawer Still looks like it has a ton of space, and I actually was able to take all of the 1/4-inch stuff from this drawer and move it into here and combine it all into one. So we've got lots of room for expansion in here. Might end up picking up some more of these trays, doing like the impacts on there. These impacts are these Makita. Picked these up today. Really nice set. I was picking up some more of these guys. These have gone missing over time. We use these a lot. These are the 3/8 impact drivers. I'm sure a few of them are in the trucks and trailers, and they're kind of just spread around. So needed a few more. Found this set. I think it was like 15 or 20 bucks for this whole set. And I was missing the 15, so that worked out perfect. And it actually worked out perfect to combine with the Pittsburgh, because I pulled the 11 and the 19 off the Pittsburgh to make this a more complete set. So really liking that. If I end up keeping this set, I might end up cutting this down so we don't have the extra length. And I'm definitely going to be looking at possibly adding some more tools to make these a little more complete, a little more full. Stuff like this one. This is actually a 21, not a 20. But overall, when we have a pretty complete set, obviously we're mostly 3/8 is most of my stuff. I ended up pulling some of my Craftsmans over. I was missing these two in this Great Neck set. Pulled those over. And the spark plug wrenches, they don't really fit on there. Got an extra 5/8 spark plug wrench there. I feel a little wimpy with only one 1/4-inch drive, but again, like I said, I don't use that much. And then the 1/2-inch drive, really going to kind of stick to what I had originally. I'm not a big fan of what I've got for these larger sockets. These rails are kind of under stress, the way they're set up. They're just not meant for big sockets like that. But those don't really go on these rails very well either. So I'll be on the lookout for something for that. And like I said, I'll probably end up moving these back over and ditch this. I don't know what I'm going to do with those 2 1/2-inch rails for now, but they're just not going to work out. And this will work out perfect for a 1/2-inch drawer. And then we'll have our other sockets and wrenches or ratchets in here. Another great find at Harbor Freight is this magnetic bit storage. I'm really hoping this solves this problem right here. I'm thinking I can just magnet it to here on the side here, and that'll really make this drawer. I have a feeling these are going to move around a lot, so if I could put that in here, that'll really help out. Okay, there's the finished. Got these all organized, got plenty of room for more, and they're actually pretty decent. I think that will work. The nice thing about these soft close drawers is it really doesn't move stuff around that bad. Okay, I'm going back to the Icon little tray. I don't mind it, and it's, I think, a little more visually apparent when stuff's missing. I don't even know where this one's at. But this Snap-on one, it's just not as visual whether stuff's missing or not. I just picked up this little tray organizer from Harbor Freight for screwdrivers. It's not probably the best thing for these picks, but it's actually pretty decent. So I don't know if there's a better option for those, but as far as the assortment I have left here, this is actually just about perfect. This guy's a little too small to really work with that. I don't really have a good solution for the punches and chisels, but that does feel pretty organized. And then I've got my nicer Snap-ons and stuff back here. I'm trying to keep those less likely to be the first tool to be grabbed. Might even have some room in here. We could actually put some of our pry bars and stuff in there. Like I said, I need to get some more pry bars, but I have a hard time cheaping out on pry bars, and pry bars are expensive. So I think that'll wrap us up. Thanks for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching Thrifty Garage.